Welcome back to another sports talk with David White and Robert Stewart. There's a lot going on in sports right now. The St. Louis Rams has popped off the training camp around the NFL. Everybody has gotten back going here, and it's going to be definitely an interesting football season with new faces on the St. Louis Rams. The addition of Nick Foles looks good. I was out at the Rams training camp facilities on the first opening day. I like what I see so far, but looks can be deceiving. They have a tough road ahead of them with playing the Buccaneers, Seahawks, opening it up on September 13th is when the St. Louis Rams will open their season up. We're going to get into a little bit of baseball with the St. Louis Cardinals and what's going on in that era. They're doing pretty good. They're on a roll right now, even though they lost a few games here and there. But they're on pace of going to playoffs again this year, as usual. And then we're going to talk about basketball, where yours truly knows all the information about basketball, but he is wrong on some other stuff, in my opinion, because I caught him on the Cleveland thing last year. And if you want to know my point, you got to go back and look at that first episode, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, my thoughts on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. They will go to the playoffs, even with Tom Brady sitting out for 4 games. The suspension will be upheld. I think he needs to just go ahead and sit out those 4 games instead of taking it to the higher courts, because I think they're going to rule against him. And he's trying to clear his name. It's already tainted. Patriots is known for cheating, filming practices and everything, and also deflating footballs. I think it's been a joke in the National Football League for the past X amount of months. But they need to move on, and we need to focus on football. We need to talk about the Buccaneers and how well Winston's gonna do, or is he gonna fail? I think
he's not gonna fail.
Yeah, see, he don't think he's gonna fail. I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna deal with losses, because he don't have that many losses. In college, he only got one coming out, and he's gonna have to overcome some diversity in that area. And Marcus Mariota is with the Tennessee Titans. You might want to keep an eye on the Titans, see how good, if they'll do any good at all.
Who's on the team? You talking Mark?
Yeah, Marcus Mariota, who was drafted by the Tennessee Titans, who won in the national championship last year.
Well, he may not start right off. They don't need him to start right off.
Right,
because they still have Locker, I think.
Yeah, but
I mean, he doesn't need to start right off. So he's not in the same situation.
They already called the starting quarterback, Marcus Mariota. Him and Winston are going to be starting on opening day.
How did that happen? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that.
They've already
they shouldn't do that. They already have a decent quarterback in Locker. Drag this guy along a little bit slower than throwing him out there already.
Well, you got to learn,
especially with his lack of college experience. He only played
a few years,
couple years, and then he missed some games his first year. So I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right. And we'll see.
There's just no hurry. The Titans are not going to win anytime soon. So it's just a waste of talent to throw this guy out there. And if he fails, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not always right, but I think it's stupid. When especially Locker is proven to be a decent quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't that bad last year. I don't know how they ended up getting the number 1 pick in it. I mean, whatever pick. I guess they picked him at the top 5 or whatever it was, but still. I mean, they weren't that bad a team to be picking that high, but apparently people find their ways. Who knows?
Now,
anyway,
the 49ers have released Alden Smith from the 49ers for a DUI hit and run. They went ahead and let him go after too many of those. He had an incident at an airport, LAX, where he yelled out a bomb.
How many years ago was that?
That was a couple of years ago, or a year.
People are going to make one mistake a year. I mean, the 49ers are done. They lost their coach.
Yeah.
They lost the coach left. They had one of the greatest linebackers to ever play for them retired early.
Retired early, yeah.
Just out of the blue. I think he just wanted to leave. I don't blame him. That team's in trouble.
Yeah.
Frank Gore's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
teams
they're back to where they were Uh, you know, when I can't even think of his name, he came in and tried to straighten them out. I can't think of his name. He's a Hall of Famer. Right. Singletary tried to come in and straighten them out. Right. They're back when he was trying to coach.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand
why
problems.
They let go Singletary. They didn't give him enough of a chance to coach the team because he had the team there.
He had the team there. He had. I mean, he had Alex Smith. Still, he had. The Vernon Davis. He had. You had all these other guys. You had the All-Pro linebacker who just retired. I don't remember their names because I'm not a 49ers fan. I never will be. Right, I always hated them. Don't care about them.
Who's your team that you like?
I don't really have a particular team, to be honest with you.
You hear that? He don't have a particular team. He got a particular team.
No, I don't.
Sure what his particular team is. Mine is the Rams and the Cowboys. Cowboys look good. I'm interested to see if they can make it back to the playoffs with Tony Romo. Can they get over the hump and get past the divisional round of the playoff? I think that's
my answer is no.
Honestly, I think that's the team that can beat the Seattle Seahawks, especially in the playoffs, especially with the performance they put on last year. They've proven that they can run with the best of them. Then you got Des Bryant, who's a beast, who caught a touchdown in that Green Bay game, which they should have beat actually Green Bay Packers, but Packers ended up losing in the championship game to the Seahawks, which the Seahawks should have actually lost that game. With the last 2 minutes, the Seahawks won it and went to the Super Bowl, which they should have actually won, but New England intercepted the ball down at the 1 yard line when they should have ran the ball instead of throwing the ball. I didn't understand that.
You got a lot of should haves.
Yeah, it's just a lot of should haves.
The bottom line is that Dallas has no business playing any of these teams.
I disagree.
I don't agree with you. They shouldn't have been in the situation they were in behind, trailing.
Right.
They should have played a better defensive game. Mm-hmm. They should have made less mistakes. They didn't stick with Murray. Right. They should have ran the ball more.
Right.
They should have slowed the game down. They had no business being in that situation against Green Bay, being down like that, depending on some type of lucky play.
Yeah.
So they should have played the game well. They would have slowed it down. They would have beat them in the first place. Mm-hmm. As far as Green Bay really to be honest with you, Green Bay was really no match for the defending Super Bowl champions. The game shouldn't have been that close. Seattle, game shouldn't have been that close.
Wait a minute, Seattle was getting blown out by Green Bay. If you remember,
let me just say this: the talent. Seattle played a bad game. Okay, they played a bad game. Yeah. They played a bad game, but they didn't belong on the field with Seattle in the first place. To be honest with you,
right.
So Seattle plays a bad game, and they end up winning and going to the Super Bowl. But if you want a team that shouldn't have been in that situation, no way Green Bay is there anyway. Dallas should have beat them.
Yeah.
So Green Bay is really the team, and I like Green Bay, but they shouldn't have been in the championship game against Seattle in the first place. It should have been Dallas.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, I do agree with you. Dallas can with their offensive power, they had a better chance of beating Seattle.
Yes.
And here we are again, another year. Dallas doesn't win. Somebody came out, their owner came out and said they're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, he do that every year. I'm not a fan of Jerry Jones. I'm not a fan of Jerry Jones. Never been a fan of Jerry Jones until when we won the Super Bowl.
Let me just say this: you don't make a statement like that. You go out and get Adrian Peterson, and then you make a statement like that. But you never got Adrian Peterson. You still may get him.
McFadden. They think he can save him.
No,
they should have re-signed.
I know exactly what happened.
I know exactly. DeMarco Murray. That's what you should have done.
No, you shouldn't have. Yeah. I know exactly what happened.
What?
They didn't have any intention of signing DeMarco Murray, re-signing him, and I don't blame them.
That's because he cheap. He don't want to pay nobody.
No, it's not that.
No, it is. It's about that money. It's business. This is a business. This is not just fun and games. It's a business. Football is a business, and if you don't pay the man, he's gonna go.
Let me just say this:
someplace else where
he's
else
not a $13 million running back. Let me just say this.
Really?
No, he's not. Let me just
How
say.
many yards did he rush last year?
It didn't matter. It doesn't matter
He
how
said
many
it doesn't
yards.
matter, but he
He
rattle
can't
off the
win you
yards.
the big game with his legs.
I don't know about that one.
I know. That's why they pass the ball when they get in these tight spots, because they know what we don't know. They know Murray can deliver in a big game, and he didn't. That's why they went to the air.
I disagree.
And that's why he's not there.
That's why Philadelphia got him.
The difference between him and Adrian Peterson is half the country, half the distance of this country. That man will put a team. Adrian Peterson will put a team on his back and win that game offensively. DeMarcus Murray can't do that. He can't catch the ball and run. Okay, Peterson can do it all. Dallas knew that. They didn't re-sign him. They thought they had a chance at Peterson. Everything fell through on him. They ended up getting McFadden, who we don't know what's going to happen. I can tell you what's going to happen. Nothing.
Right. But I think
they still got a chance at Peterson. They still have a chance at Peterson.
When? Because
the season hasn't started yet.
Man.
It doesn't matter. People get traded during the season.
But they not going to trade Adrian Peterson during those seasons now. Come on, let's be realistic, people. I wouldn't even trade Adrian Peterson at this point.
You trade anybody that says they want to be traded.
Yeah, but
okay, he will say that he wants.
But his organization is not going to trade Adrian Peterson. Trust me on this. It's not going to happen. Once they do, you come holler at me and tell me that I was wrong.
You think a person has asked this team to be traded is going to play up to his full potential?
Yeah, he's going to play
absolutely
up to
not.
If you got love for the game, yeah, you're going to, despite where you at, because you getting paid one way or the other.
I don't blame him, and I don't blame him. Minnesota stinks, and they're going to continue to stink. They had their best chance when they had Brett Favre and Peterson on the same sideline.
And I agree with that.
And Moss.
But they messed that up, that last play in that New Orleans game.
That's enough. It's a pass. Let's leave the pass in the past.
Yeah. Hold on for a second. What? I can't find the what is it? Ice cream shakes or whatnot in here. Where they at?
You talking about milkshakes?
Yeah, the milkshakes. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me get the vanilla one.
A vanilla milkshake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They be all for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I didn't mean to sidetrack that.
Every time you come here, all you get is a shake.
Yeah, because I'm not hungry right now. I've already ate. Anyway, back to sports. Sorry for the interruption. But it's going to be a good season. It's definitely going to be a good season. We're going to talk more about football. We get ready to move into baseball for a brief moment, and then we're going to do the season finale of basketball. We're going to split this up.
Season finale? What do you mean?
Not season finale. We're going to wrap it up with basketball.
Oh, okay.
Basically what I'm saying, because we're going for a little while now here. It's going to be split up, so if I cut it off, that means go to the next one just to kind of give you a taste of the talk show here. Baseball. Will the Cardinals make it to the World Series? We had a long, lengthy discussion behind the scenes at Club Fitness. That's where we work out at. So if y'all get a chance, come on out, check us out. Good facilities to work out at. Will the Cardinals?
And we'll be having a show there too. Actually,
soon, very soon.
Within the next week, actually.
We're gonna talk about that because I got some issues just to get ready to pop up.
Okay.
Will the Cardinals make it to the World Series? That is my question. They are hot right now. They're leading in the division. They are playing outstanding baseball. But will they make it to the World Series with the lineup they have?
Let me just say this, and I'm not bragging, but I have a good grip on baseball. If they don't face the Giants, who they can't beat, they cannot beat the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants has been a kryptonite for the past, I don't know how many years.
If they have to face Greinke twice in a series, they won't beat the Dodgers.
I said, no.
Greinke has not even, he's given up one run.
I'm not going to say that. Because if you put Kershaw on the mound, we got this with the Dodgers.
There's no guarantee this year.
No, I'm guaranteeing that the Dodgers we got the Dodgers match, and ain't no questions about that. We're going to beat the Dodgers.
Okay, you were asking me if they're going to make it to the World Series, right?
Right.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, they will not make it.
Excuse me. Go ahead. My bad. I didn't drop the stuff.
They will not make it if they have to face the Giants with all those left-handed pitching with all the good pitching they have
I
as
say
well,
the
and they can't
Giants.
beat the Giants. If they face
That
the Dodgers and have to drag that series out 7 games and face Greinke in 2 of them, the Cardinals will not make it to the World Series. Okay. Another threat is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is that threat
Pittsburgh is beatable, but the Cardinals will have to play their A game. So, with that said, I think there's 2 legitimate teams that stand in the way. We don't know if the Giants will even get into the playoffs. They may have to play a wild card game, or they may not make the playoff because the Cubs are up on the come up already.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, even with that said, I still think that the Dodgers are a legitimate threat. They have not played their best baseball of the season yet. Kershaw seems like he's human right now, which is surprising. But Greinke is at his best right now, and the Cardinals have to watch out if they get into a extended series with both those pitchers. They could come out losers. I'm sorry, they don't have the offense. They're not showing me that they have the offense they had last year and the year before. They've got some problems in their lineup, and if they can't hit and run, then they're in trouble against anybody. And they have not hit for power on a consensus basis this year. Now Carpenter's back in full swing. I heard he hit like 3 or 4 home runs in 3 games, which is unheard of. But I've also heard that Hayworth is heating up. That makes them a better team than last year. But now Holiday's out of the lineup. They went and traded for a guy from the American League. Batting 212, 15 home runs. I don't know his name, and I probably don't want to mention his name yet. But he's come in, and he's hit a home run already. So I don't know. I mean, they seem like that. If you ask me, the Cardinals are a very cheap organization.
If we know
cheap doesn't win World Series. When you could have went out and got. Instead of somebody like this guy, I don't even know his name. Don't want to know his name. Don't mention his name because he's batting 212. You could have went out and get.
That's horrible. Who you talking about? Mark Reynolds?
I don't know. They've been had Mark Reynolds. They got him last year.
Who are you talking about then?
They just got another guy who's batting 212 who had 15 home runs. I think he came from Baltimore or Cleveland somewhere. Wherever. Don't care where he came from. I hope he would go back batting 212. But my point is saying, why would you go out and get somebody who is mediocre when you could have had somebody like Batista from Toronto who has come out and said he wanted to leave Toronto? Now Toronto goes out and they get Troy Tulowitzki. Well, the Cardinals could have went out and got him. I know he's got a massive contract, but you could have moved him anywhere on the field. They're showing me they're not serious about winning a world championship.
Well,
when these guys come out and tell their teams we want to be traded, and you don't try to go out and trade for these guys, they're not. And because of that, the real reason they won't make if they do make the world, not going to win because they don't want to go out and make the big deal to get the big player who can win you a game or two in a World Series. They don't have that type of player anymore. Last time I checked, the guy's name was Albert Pujols, and he's been gone. So that's my take on the Cardinals. They're cheap.
Just to kind of
like the Blues.
Chime in. Yeah, the Cardinals is cheap. I'm gonna agree with what he's saying on that.
And the Rams are the St. Louis Lambs.
We on the Cardinals. We're not on the Rams.
Football. We're talking
about
St. Louis sports.
We talk
St. Louis
about
sports show.
It's a sports show.
So I can jump back and forth if I want to. But back to baseball. I'll finish up with baseball.
Well,
let me move to the American.
Hold on, before you even go to the American League, let me say this.
Oh wow.
Let me say that. Cardinals is cheap. I do agree with you on that.
Thank you.
And they need to expand the payroll. If they do that, I think we'll be better off with bringing some of these guys in and winning the World Series. Because look what we did to win the World Series in 2011. We traded a lot of people to get that World Series. And if we don't make that trade, do we win the World Series in 2011?
No, you don't win.
Sustained.
You had all these, and you had it. You was packed from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, Freeze, Pujols.
But the pitching wasn't there.
I you know what?
You know,
It's a lost conversation. Really, this is a lost conversation.
because if
This is a
LaRussa did
lost
not, wait a minute,
conversation.
no, if LaRussa didn't do what he did in that World Series, we don't win the World Series. Seriously.
What did he do?
He took those guys out at the right time.
You're supposed to.
He's
You're a Hall of Fame coach,
yeah,
manager.
He ain't been doing that though all his years as a coach. We should have at least on the total LaRussa 5 to 6 world championships.
You're not the Heat. This is not the same conversation as Miami.
He is not all that. They only had LeBron James that brought them
Not
back
even,
to
listen,
the thing.
listen. The Cardinals won as many World Series as they were supposed to win because they're a thrift store shopping baseball organization.
No, Aldi's shopping.
Thrift store, Aldi's, Hardee's, whatever you want to call it, whatever's cheap. Let me just say this. All right? You keep Pujols, you win at least another World Series or two. Just by keeping him.
I don't know. Because
I
of the
do
injuries.
know. I do know. He wasn't.
The injuries. You got to factor the injuries in. He didn't play.
Who knows? He may not even got hurt if he wasn't playing in L.A. Stadium. He might not even got hurt that one time.
I don't know.
Who knows? It's
because
two different fields.
He got hurt prior to going to the Angels. Because remember, he sat out in the All-Star game that year because he was hurt.
Let me say this. He one of the reasons why he was hurt is because he prolonged a procedure that he was going to get done because he didn't know if he was going to stay with St. Louis or if he was going to L.A. No, wait a minute. If he stays with St. Louis, he gets the procedure. He shuts it down. He gets the procedure done. He's ready to come back the next year. No, he waits because of all that was going on and has it later, and therefore he starts with the Angels hurt. But it would have been a different situation.
I don't know.
The year that he was in contract negotiations with the Cardinals, the season was coming to. He was hurt at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. So
he was hurt at the end of the season.
It's just.
And we all know that. You know they lost that year.
Yeah. But
anyway,
it's speculation.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the past.
Anything else to say about baseball before we move on to basketball?
We didn't talk about the American League. We didn't talk about the American League at all.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the American League.
Boston, the last time we met, was making a run. Now they've fallen completely out of playoff contention. The White Sox are horrible, as we do know that. But we're also finding that, unfortunately, it looks like the Astros have some reality to them. I don't think that they're going to win a playoff series. A lot of people still on Kansas City's bandwagon.
Right.
I'm not. I do think they may make it to the championship game. They're not going back to the big game, the World Series. Detroit is out of it. Detroit is out of it. I'm sorry to say the Yankees are not for real. Their division's weak.
Yeah, that's
their first round exit. I'm going with. I still think that Trout and Pujols and the rest of the gang over there can pull something out and win that division. And if they do, I think we may see them in a championship game, the world in an American League Championship Series, possibly facing Kansas City. This time they're going to have to find a way to beat Kansas City. They didn't show up last year. As we know, they were heavily favored to beat them. They didn't. Their pitching was not there. Their bats were not there. This has to be a different situation this time. So, with that said, I'm still going with the Angels and Kansas City in a rematch this time for the American League Championship. As far as the National League is concerned, I'm just not. I'm not sold out on St. Louis yet. I have to see how they're going to do with the first round of the. You still have the Nationals. You still have the Mets trying to get in there. You still have the Pirates. So there's a lot of things, a lot of teams they still have to go through just to get to the National League Championship Series. So I don't know. They didn't make the right deals this time. So we'll see. They're the best team in baseball right now. This is just the regular season.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to take a brief break here, and then we're going to talk about basketball. So be right back.